Ah, So we're about to start our meditations on verses in chapter 5 of the book of Matthew. Mm. So when I started reading chapter 5, I noticed that, hey, this is like the Sermon on the Mount. So uh, that one is pretty familiar. Oh, I'm feeling some electrical impulses raging in my left leg, mostly around the thigh muscle. So it's calmed. No, it sometimes acts up. It's a little bit annoying. So bear with me if I start complaining a little bit once in a while. Okay, so I read all of chapter 5 the other day of the Gospel of Matthew. It was jam packed. It was jam packed with sayings of Jesus. For example, something to the effect of um, blessed are those who are mm, I'm not going to zero in on the one that I'm most familiar with. The template is blessed are are those in this situation, for they will attain a certain beneficial situation. For having undergone this situation, they will, in the end, obtain that situation that kind of makes it worthwhile to go through this situation. Something like that. Or another version might be, you have heard this before, but I say to you, it's it's now this. It's now that. Uh, see, rewriting the doctrine of Judaism, or was he revealing how it should be interpreted? Hmm. I think we should go through the chapter again. I got the book here somewhere. Okay. Uh, the Holy Bible, the Old and New Testament in King James Version. Oh, I lost the bookmark, but it's pretty easy to find. Chapter 21. Wow. Chapter 7. Chapter 5. Wow. It's all in one page. Because this book's got really small print. So I may have to use I don't have a magnifying lens. Mm, I have glasses, but I don't think they're gonna help me. See if they do if I adjust them. No, it makes it worse. Okay, so yeah, there we go. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, "Hmm, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the poor in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Uh, Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor as in its taste, wherewith shall it be salted? It is It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one little shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whomsoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, let there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offends thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. But it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Oh, it hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. Oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to him that seeketh, that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Uh, so there are some things that I would have to look up and maybe get a correct interpretation of. Hmm. So I wonder if I have a book on this matter, a supplementary book on this. Oh, I think I do. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's right around here on this bed. Let's see if I can find it. Uh, uh, oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Uh, hmm. Oh, that would be interesting. Okay. Let's see. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Uh, mm, uh, let's see. Mm, uh, mm, uh, 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 oh, what's this? Oh, this might help me. Ah, this might help me. Let's check this one out. Stephen Mitchell, The Gospel According to Jesus, a new translation and guide to oops, his essential teachings for believers and unbelievers. Oh boy. By the translation by the translator of the Tao Te Ching and the Book of Job. So Stephen Mitchell has translated the Tao Te Ching and the Book of Job, which means that he knows some Chinese and he knows some Hebrew, maybe, or whatever, or he got help in translating it. So, first of all, how did he go about translating it? What are his qualifications? Let's find out. One of the icons on the walls of my study is a picture of Thomas Jefferson, an inexpensive reproduction of the portrait by Rembrandt Peale. The great man looks down over my desk, his longish, once red hair almost completely gray now, a fur collar draped softly around his neck like a sleeping cat. His handsome, his handsome features poised in an expression of serenity, amusement, and concern. I honor his serenity and understand his concern, and I like to think that his amusement, the hint of a smile, the left eyebrow raised a fraction of an inch, come from finding himself placed in the company not of politicians but of saints. For among the other icons on my wall are the beautiful Jewish halo free face of Jesus by Rembrandt from the Gemäldegalerie Gallery in Berlin. A portrait of that other greatest of Jewish teachers, Spinoza. A Ming Dynasty watercolor of a delighted bird-watching Taoist who could easily be Lao Tzu himself. A photograph glowing with love of the modern Indian sage Ramana Maharshi, and underneath it, surrounded by dried rose petals, a small Burmese statue of the Buddha perched on a 3-foot tall packing crate stenciled with Choi Lung soy sauce, 22 pounds. Oh. So, because Jefferson was our great champion of religious freedom, he was attacked as a rabid atheist by bigots of his day. But he was a deeply religious man, and he spent a good deal of time thinking about Jesus of Nazareth. During the evening hours of one winter month, late in his first term as president, after the public business had been put to rest, he began to compile a version of the Gospels that would include only what he considered the authentic accounts and sayings of Jesus. These he snipped out of his King James Bible and pasted onto the pages of a blank book. Wait a minute. If he snipped the pages out of his King James Bible, he must have had two copies of that Bible, because if you snip from one page and then paste it somewhere, you'd be covering the other side of that page that got snipped. So I would say he would have two copies of the Bible to snip from. So he pasted onto the pages of a blank book in more or less chronological order. He took up the project again in 1816 when he was 73, 8 years after the end of his second term, pasting in the Greek text as well, along with Latin and French translations in parallel columns, the wee little book, which he entitled The Life and Morals of Jesus of Nazareth, remained in his family until 1904, when it was published by order of the 57th Congress and a copy given to each member of the House and Senate. So what is wrong with the old Gospels that made Jefferson want to compile a new one? He didn't talk about this in public, but in his private correspondence, he was very frank. He said, the whole history of these books, the Gospels, is so defective and doubtful that it seems vain to attempt minute inquiry into it, and such tricks have been played with their text and with the texts of other books relating to them. We have a right from that cause to entertain much doubt what parts of them are genuine. In the New Testament, there is internal evidence that parts of it have proceeded from an extraordinary man, and that other parts are of the fabric of very inferior minds. It is as easy to separate those parts as to pick out diamonds from dunghills. Mm. So he wrote that to John Adams on January 24th, 1814. We must reduce our volume to the simple evangelists. Select even from them the very words only of Jesus, pairing off the amphibologisms into which they have been led by forgetting often or not understanding what had fallen from him, by giving their own misconceptions as his dicta, and expressing unintelligibly for others what they had not understood themselves. There will be found remaining the most sublime and benevolent code of morals which has ever been offered to man. And he wrote that uh, before he wrote the one I just read. That one, he wrote that. This one he wrote also to John Adams, but instead of in January of 1814, he wrote it in October of 1813. So that means a few months before. Okay, so he was saying that he thinks we must reduce the volume of the volume of the Bible or the New Testament to just the evangelists, and select even from them the very words of Jesus only, and then out of that you'd get something that is the most sublime and benevolent code of morals that has come out of man. So Jefferson's robust honesty is always a delight, and never more so than in the Adams correspondence. The two venerable ex-presidents who had been allies during the Revolution, then bitter political enemies, and who were now in their 70s, reconciled in mellow correspondence, with an interest in philosophy and religion that almost equaled their fascination with politics. What a pleasure it is to overhear them discussing the gospel sensibly in terms of what would have infuriated the narrow-minded Christians of their day. But Jefferson, too, called himself a Christian. To the corruptions of Christianity, he wrote, I am indeed opposed, but not to the genuine precepts of Jesus himself. I am a Christian in the only sense in which he wanted anyone to be, sincerely attached to his doctrines in preference to all others, ascribing to himself every human excellence and believing he never claimed any other. It is precisely because of his love for Jesus that he had such contempt for the tricks that were played with the gospel text. Tricks? What kind of tricks? Well, tricks may seem like a harsh word to use about some of the evangelists' methods, but Jefferson was morally shocked to realize that the words of Jesus had been added to, deleted, altered, and otherwise tampered with as the Gospels were put together. What? They were tampered with? How? How would he know? What proof is that? Is there? Okay. He might have been more lenient if he were writing today, not as a member of a tiny, clear sighted minority, but in an age when textual skepticism is at least widely recognized as a path to Jesus, even by devout Christians, even by the Catholic Church. For all reputable scholars today acknowledge that the official Gospels were compiled in Greek many decades after Jesus' death by men who had never heard his teaching, and that a great deal of what the Jesus of the Gospel say originated not in Jesus' own Aramaic words, which have been lost forever, but in the very different teachings of the early church. And if we often can't be certain of what he said, we can be certain of what he didn't say. Uh, and so in this book, I have followed Jefferson's example. I have selected and translated from Mark, Matthew, Luke, and very sparingly from John. Only those passages that seem to me authentic accounts and sayings of Jesus. When there are three accounts of the same incident, I have relied primarily on Mark, the oldest, and in certain ways the most trustworthy of the three synoptic gospels. I have also included all the teachings from Matthew and from Luke that seemed authentic. And I have eliminated every passage, and even within authentic passages, every verse or phrase that seemed like a later theological or polemical or legendary accretion. So gospel means good news. While the Gospels, according to Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, are to a large extent teachings about Jesus, I wanted to compile a gospel that would be the teaching of Jesus, what he proclaimed about the presence of God. Good news as old as the universe. I found, as Jefferson did, that when the accretions are recognized and stripped off, Jesus surprisingly, vividly appears in all his radiance. Uh, uh, so I could read on the introduction. Uh, I could read on. I could read on. I could read on. And maybe I'll come back to it because it's very interesting to try to see how how he determined what was authentic and what was not, or how did he decide on what 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 measures? No, what criteria did he use to determine what was not Jesus's teachings? Oh, there's a lot in the introduction that I need to go over. Hmm. So it looks like it's a lot of good information. But what I want to get to is what is equivalent. Well, man, the introduction is real long. It's longer than the actual content of the. So I guess he goes through explaining. Oh, he's got a lot of notes. Wow. Where does it start? Okay, the gospel. Okay. Okay, here it is. Mm. I made it to uh, what is pretty much equivalent to chapter 5 of the Gospel of Matthew. It looks like I found it. He doesn't separate the four books. He just kind of does what Jefferson did, but it so happens that section 5, as far as I can tell, he begins to teach Burnham the inner light, giving the law fair. Anyway, I think this is equivalent to Matthew chapter 5. At, and large crowds followed him from Galilee and the Decapolis and Jerusalem and Judea and beyond the Jordan. And seeing the crowds, he went up onto a hill. And when he had sat down, his disciples gathered around him, and he began to teach them and said, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are those who grieve, for they will be comforted. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Mm, No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light unto everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Don't think that my purpose is to destroy the law. My purpose is not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. For I tell you that unless your righteousness is deeper than the righteousness of the scribes, you will never enter the kingdom of God. You have heard that it was said to our forefathers, you shall not murder, and whoever murders is liable to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who hates his brother will be liable to judgment. Mm. Oh, I like the way the King James version presents this. This one doesn't mention the word anger. I think the King James version says anyone who who has anger towards his brother will be liable to judgment. Something to that effect. This one doesn't use the word anger. It uses the word hates his brother. That's interesting. Well, you have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery, but I tell you that anyone who harbors lust for a woman has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Yes, it's interesting. This translation seems to flow more with the way we speak English today, but still, I like the way the King James version uh, sets things off. It's interesting. Mm. You have heard that it was said, you shall not perjure yourselves. But I tell you, don't take any oaths at all. Let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Okay. Now, the way this has been interpreted and translated, I now understand what the King James Version was trying to say. So this way is a little bit clearer for us. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, don't resist a wicked man. If anyone hits you on one cheek, turn the other cheek to him also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, let him have your coat as well. And if a soldier forces you into service for 1 mile, go 2 miles with him. Give to everyone who asks, and don't refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor, but I tell you, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you, so that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun, sun, rise on the wicked and on the good, and sends rain to the righteous and to the unrighteous. For if you love only those who love you, that what credit is that to you? Don't even the tax gatherers do the same? Oh, okay. Now I know what the word publicans means. And if you do good only to those who do good to you, don't even the Gentiles do the same? I think that's what where publicans was used. Oh, Gentiles do the same. But love your enemies and give, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High. For he is kind even to the ungrateful and the wicked. Therefore, be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Mm. So, uh, yes, this kind of interesting. It may clarify some some odd ways of how it's expressed in the King James, and maybe some words that I might have not known. Like what are publicans? Things like that. Uh, 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 but still, I'm not done. Ooh. Mm. Mm, 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 uh, mm, mm. Uh, what about the Gospel of Thomas? Uh, are there some sayings in the Gospel of Thomas that are also found in the Gospel of Matthew, in particularly in chapter 5? Well, let's uh, let's see. Mm. The sayings of the Gospel of Thomas. Incipit. These are the hidden sayings of the living Jesus. No, these are the hidden sayings that the living Jesus spoke, and that Didymus Judas Thomas wrote down. And he said, whoever finds the correct interpretations of these sayings will never die. Good. That is an astonishing saying. Well, that was the first verse or first saying. And he also said, the seeker should not stop until he finds. When he does find, he will be disturbed. After having been disturbed, he will be astonished. Then he will reign over everything. That in itself is an astonishing saying. Jesus also said, if your leaders say to you, look, the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds will be there before you are. If they say that the kingdom is in the sea, then the fish will be there before you are. Rather, the kingdom is within you and it is outside of you. That's an astonishing saying. When you understand yourselves, you will be understood and you will realize that you are sons of the living Father. Oh. If you do not know yourselves, then you exist in poverty, and you are that poverty. Oh, wow. Jesus said, the old man will not hesitate to ask a 7-day-old baby about the place of life, and he will live. For there are many who are first who will become last. They will become a single one. Jesus said, recognize what is right in front of you, and that which is hidden from you will be revealed to you. Nothing hidden will fail to be displayed. His disciples questioned him, should we fast? In what way should we pray? Should we give to charity? From which foods should we abstain? Jesus responded, do not lie. If there is something that you hate, do not do it. For everything is revealed beneath heaven. Nothing hidden will fail to be displayed. Nothing covered will remain undisclosed. Jesus said, blessed is a lion that a man eats, because that lion will become human. Cursed is a man that a lion eats, because that lion will become human. And he said, the man is like a thoughtful fisherman who threw his net into the sea and pulled it out full of little fish. Among all the little fish, that thoughtful fisherman found one fine large fish that would be beneficial to him, and throwing all the little fish back into the sea, he easily chose to keep the large one. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Jesus said, look, there was a man who came out to sow seed. He filled his hand with seed and threw it about. Some fell into the road, birds ate it. Some fell onto rocks, could not root, and it produced no grain. Some fell into patches of thorny weed. They kept it from growing, and grubs ate it. Some seed fell upon good soil and grew, and produced good grain. It was 60 units per measure and 100 units per measure. Jesus said, I have thrown fire into the world. Look, I watch it until it blazes. And Jesus said, this sky will cease to be, and the sky above it will cease to be. The dead do not live, and the living will not die. When you ate dead things, you made them alive. When you arrive into light, what will you do? When you were one, you became two. When you become two, what will you do? His disciples said to Jesus, we know you will leave us. Who will be our leader then? Jesus responded, wherever you are, turn to Jacob, James the just, for whose sake the sky and the earth came into being. And Jesus asked his disciples, make a comparison. What am I like? Simon Peter replied, you are like a righteous messenger. And Matthew replied, you are like an intelligent lover of wisdom. And Thomas replied, teacher, I cannot possibly say what you are like. Jesus said to Thomas, I am not your teacher. You have drunk from and become intoxicated from the bubbling water that I poured out. Jesus took Thomas and they withdrew. Jesus said three things to him. When Thomas returned to the other disciples, they asked him, what did Jesus tell you? Thomas replied, if I tell you even one of the things that he told me, you would pick up stones and throw them at me, and fire would come out of those stones and burn you up. Jesus said to them, if you fast, you will bring sin to yourselves. If you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give to charity, you will damage your spirits. When you go into a region and walk around in the rural areas, whenever people receive you, eat whatever they provide for you and heal their sick. For what goes into your mouth will not defile you, but what comes out of your mouth can defile you. Jesus said, when you see someone not born from a woman, prostrate yourselves and worship him. He is your father. Jesus said, people think perhaps that I have come to throw peace upon the world. They don't know that I have come to throw disagreement upon the world, and fire and sword and struggle. For there will be 5 in one house. 3 will oppose 2. 2 will oppose 3. The father will oppose his son, and the son oppose his father. And they will stand up and they will be alone. Jesus said, I will give you that which eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, hands do not touch, and minds have not conceived. The disciples asked Jesus, tell us about our end. What will it be? Jesus replied, have you found the beginning so that you now seek the end? The place of the beginning will be the place of the end. Blessed is anyone who will stand up in the beginning and thereby know the end and never die. Jesus said, blessed is one who existed before coming into being. If you become a disciple and listen to me, these stones will serve you. In paradise, there are 5 trees that do not change between summer and winter, and their leaves never fall. Anyone who comes to know them will not die. The disciples said to Jesus, "Tell us what the kingdom of heaven is like." He replied, "It is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all. However, when it falls into worked ground, it sends out a large stem, and it becomes a shelter for the birds of heaven." Mary asked Jesus, who are your disciples like?" He replied, "They are like little children in a field that does not belong to them. When the field's owners come, they will say, 'Give our fields, give our field back.' They will strip naked in the owner's presence and give it back, returning their field to them. Therefore, I say, if a householder knows a thief is coming, he will keep watching and not let him break into his house of his kingdom and steal his goods. You must keep watching against the world, preparing yourselves with power so that thieves will not find any way to come upon you. The situation you are expecting will come. Let a person who understands be with you." And the grain had ripened. He quickly came carrying his sickle, and he harvested it. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Oh, wow. This is, wow, there's some things that are pretty similar with some things that don't make sense that are pretty different. Or they're like koans. They're designed to break your fixed ways of thinking or your shit, Jesus said, "Love your brother as your own soul. Protect him as you protect the pupil of your eye. You see the splinter in your brother's eye, but you do not see the log that is in your own eye. Remove the log from your own eye, and then you can clearly see to remove the splinter from your brother's eye." That one's very familiar. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Mm, I'm trying to find verses in the Gospel of Thomas that are similar to verses in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5. See if I can find any. Well, here's one that might be similar. Hmm. For nobody, or maybe I should read the ones before. Jesus said, no prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals the people who know him well. Jesus said, a city built and fortified atop of a tall hill cannot be taken, nor can it be hidden. Oh, that one's pretty similar to one in the chapter 5, the book of Matthew. Jesus said, what you hear in your ears, preach from your house steps. For nobody lights a lamp and puts it underneath a bushel basket or in a hidden place. Rather, it is placed on a lampstand so that all who go in and out may see the light. That one's similar to one of those in chapter 5. Uh, mm, 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 oh, Jesus. Oh, this one might be similar. Maybe not. Jesus said, the Pharisees and the scribes have taken the keys to knowledge and have hidden them. They did not go in, and they did not permit those desiring to go in to enter. You should be as clever as snakes and as innocent as doves. Jesus said, a grapevine was planted outside of the Father, but as it did not strengthen, they will pull it up by its roots and it will die. Mm, not quite. What? Jesus said, whoever possesses some will be given more. Whoever possesses virtually nothing will have what little he does possess taken away. Jesus said, be one of those who pass by. Who are you singing this song? Mm. Hmm. 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 Oh, here's one that might be similar because it uses the word blessed are. Jesus said, "Blessed are those who have been persecuted within themselves. They have really come to know the Father. Blessed are those who are hungry in order to fill the bellies of the needy." It's similar to some, but not quite. Hmm. No, this one, these are interesting. Jesus said, "I will destroy this house and no one will be able to build it again." And then he said, "A man said to him, 'Talk to my brothers so that they will divide my father's property with me.'" So that's someone that was said that to Jesus. "Talk to my brothers so that they will divide my father's property with me." And Jesus replied, "Man, who made me a divider?" He turned to his disciples and asked them, "Really? Am I a divider?" Maybe a divider is like a lawyer. They need um, some or a judge or somewhere to take someone to court, maybe to a dispute, a person that resolves issues. That maybe it's like uh, like when somebody dies, they read their will and last will and testament to the family, and so they want to divide up the property. So a man came to Jesus saying, talk with my brothers so that they will divide my father's property the right way, especially divide it up, divide it in a way that will benefit me." And Jesus says, "Man, who made me a divider or one that deals with those kinds of things?" And so he turned to his disciples and asked them, "Really? Am I a divider? Where am I getting that reputation from?" Mm, mm, and the light above everything. Hmm. Hmm. Jesus astonishing saying, Jesus said, "I am the light above everything. I am everything. Everything came forth from me, and everything reached me. Split wood, I am there. Lift up a rock, you will find me there." Jesus said, "Why did you go into the desert? Did you expect to see reeds shaken by the wind? See people clothed in elegant garments like your kings and courtiers? They were elegant garments and cannot know the truth." A woman in the crowd said to him, "Blessed are the womb that bore you and the breasts that nourished you." He replied, "Blessed are those who have listened to the word of the Father and really done it. For the days are coming when you will say, 'Blessed are the womb that has never conceived and the breasts that have never given milk.'" What? Whoever has come to know the world has found the body. Whoever has found the body, the world is not worthy of him. Whoever has become rich should rule. Whoever has power should renounce it. Whoever is near to me is near the fire. Whoever is far from me is far from the kingdom. Mm-mm. Oh boy, I'm getting sleepy. What? Simon Peter said to them, Mary should leave us because women are not worthy of the life. Jesus responded, Look, I'll lead her in order to make her male so that she can become a living spirit as you males are. For each woman who makes herself male will enter into the kingdom of heaven. What? Well, that Gospel of Thomas, it's pretty strange, pretty weird stuff. Some of it, maybe 5%, is like the other Gospels, but the other is like, wow, it's some of it's kind of similar, but not quite. It has a twist. Maybe they're secret teachings, or maybe they required commentary. Well, this book does provide commentary to them, but I didn't want to go through it. So, mm, mm, mm. We've just scratched the surface on the chapter 5 of the Gospel of Matthew, and mm, I I got a little light was shown using the Stephen Stephen or Stephen Mitchell's Gospel According to Jesus, the book. So, and I looked at the Gospel of Thomas, trying to find some things that might be similar to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, but not much. Mm, mm, I wanted to. I have another book that's on the Bible that kind of gives a summary, but summary of each book, maybe. It's around here somewhere. But I do have a book. I think it's on the Sermon on the Mount. That's kind of what I read in chapter 5. I think that's what it was about. I wonder if I can find it. Guess I could look for it. Uh, there's a get out. Yeah. I couldn't. I have some medicine that I thought I took with me, but now I can't find it, so I kind of lost it. It's gabapentin. Let's see. No, I'm not looking for that medicine right now, but mm, it, let's see something like uh sorry. Mm, mm, let's see if I can find it. Mm, the four foundations of mindfulness. The meaning of language. Mm, mm, oh, let's see if I can see. Let's see if I can find something that might help me. Chasing elephants. Hmm. Oh, mm. Ah. Hmm. What you doing then? Hmm. See if I can find something. Might be interesting. Hmm. Uh, 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 mm, uh, mm, 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 mm. I don't think it's up there. Hmm. What's that book? Oh. Hmm. Mm. Anger. Mm. Sound and sound. Ah. Ah. Beyond smells and sounds. Proof of heaven. What's this book? Mm. Ah. Ah. I can't find. Uh. Mm. Mm. Let's see what's over there. Mm. Ah. Mm. Mm. Ah. Mm. That's sad. Mm. 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 Oh, there's the Gospel of Philip. What is that gospel like? Mm. Mind training like rays of the sun. Oh, 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 cracking, oh, oh, that sounds interesting. Mm. Mm. Ah, let's see what's over here. What's this? Oh, okay. Mm. 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 Ah, man. Mm. I don't think there's any books that would help me with that. Now let's see if over here. I know that I, I have. I once got a book on the Sermon on the Mount. Wonder if it's over here. Hmm. Um, I don't think I do. Hmm. Oh, that might be interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Ah, I hope I don't trip and break something. Oh, what's that? Talking to heaven? Ah, after death, after death communication. Ah, car. Hmm. What's this book? Oh, Rishi. Oh, we got it. Oh, 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 oh. I missed. Oh, there's another. There's, what's that? Oh, what's that book? Ah, what's this book? Oh, what's this book? Oh, oh boy. Oh, advanced shorthand simplified. Hmm. Ah, oh, what? Is this shorthand? The shorthand that I learned? Yeah. Wow. Ah. Hmm. Uh, um, what's this for? Oh, come and shadow the Buddhas. Oh, I like that book. Hmm. Okay. Oh, maybe I could find the book I was looking for over here. Oh, no. Maybe. No, I don't see it. Okay. So, uh, what's that? I don't know. Uh, uh, oh, boy. Okay. I'm gonna say good night and see you tomorrow morning. I'm going to do stuff that I need to do. So what did we learn today? Oh man, we just scratched the surface. Uh, we got work to do, like Barack Obama would say. We did all this, but still we got a lot of work to do. So thank you very much for joining me in my work, in my efforts, in my search. Hmm.